Hello, everybody. We're back at it again, and in today's segment, I'd like to talk about business deductions of transportation. And there's really two main types that you can deduct. So let's just say you're in an automobile, right? And you need to know what kind of deductions you can get. So the first one, you can do mileage, which as of 2024, it's 67 cents per mile, or you can do the expenses. Now I'm going to kind of get into it just a little bit. So the first thing of business travel is that it must be ordinary and necessary. So is it a part of the job, right? So if let's just say you're traveling to a customer's place, well that's necessary, right? Because it's to get more money. But not necessary, obviously, when you're traveling from your home to your business in the morning or you're going home in the evening. That is not ordinary necessary. It's just strictly the hours between work. So there's two types of people that can do it. First off is those people that are self-employed. You own the business or you're a contractor, things like that. Number two, you're a statutory employee. That's kind of the same thing, independent contractor. You're basically just kind of, the business says, here, you take the money, you pay the taxes versus a W-2 employee where they pay all the taxes under the payroll. So, and kind of getting back to my point before, is that the travel cannot be between, cannot be to work in the morning or whenever it is you go, and it cannot be going home in the evening. It's just, if you want to go in between locations from job site to job site, or if you want to go from your job site to the customer, things like that. And in breaking it down, determine the type of expenses you want to do. So there's really two kinds. You can either keep track of the expenses, so things like gasoline, parking, fees, insurance, tires. Those things are deductible, right? Or you can do mileage. Now, in doing it, you have to keep track of it throughout the year. So you have to keep the receipt. A lot of people don't keep the receipt. Just if you run on a credit card. In previous segments, I've spoken about if you do business transactions, try to do it all on one card or one debit or credit card or whatever. So that way it's really easy to keep track of, right? And that way at the end of the year, you have everything together. You know where it's at. You're not, fumbling and getting multiple statements and you paid in cash and yada, yada, yada. It gets confusing. And especially when giving it to your financial person, is that make it as easy as possible. I know I've spoken about this multiple times, but taxes don't happen at the end of the year. It happens every time you make a transaction. So taxes are a process and not an event. And make it easy on your tax preparer. Just everything is organized in the year. You just give them the statements or whatever, and you go from there. And I've seen it so many times where people get, all this stuff and trash bags, and it's like, no, take that back. That's unorganized, and you're going to have a restriction. But anyways, or you can keep track of the mileage. Now, the mileage as of 2024 is 67 cents per mile, but I think that's like 69 or somewhere around there for 2025. But 2025 is not done yet. So, anyways, but in keeping track of the mileage, is you need to keep track of the starting time, the start mileage, and the ending mileage of your odometer. So that way you can keep track. And so you basically just add it all together at the end of the year, and that's what you get as far as times that total mileage by 67 cents. And that's what you get. Now, keep in mind in mileage is that you need to keep a log, right? So worst case scenario, the IRS comes and audits you. You have a log, right? So the starting odometer, the ending odometer, and for each of those, between your business locations or for you to the customer, things like that. And keep the log. There's a lot of apps out there. I know with technology getting updated every day, you just click it and you use the GPS and go from there. So, and like I said, worst case scenario, the IRS comes and audits you. You're cool. You just give them all the documents. There you go. It's nice and easy breezy. But anyways, a little bit about us. Myself and my partner, we run a bookkeeping company right over here Metro Bookkeeping, www.metroacc.com. Check us out for more information. Like us, love us, want some more of us. Click the like and subscribe down there. Anyways,